This is a little sparkle. Welcome everyone. We all are teachers. We know it's hard to educate our kids and make them face real problems, to put together our strength and give them all.
Hello and welcome back to Leave a Little Sparkle. I'm your host, Julie Walker, and I'm here today with our special co-host.
Hi, Christine.
I'm so glad we're back doing this.
I know, me too. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and to all of our faithful viewers and listeners, we apologize. This is what this is what happens when you have ADHD and you make your own timelines. Timelines can be broken.
Right?
Oh man, so
We got a lot going on now.
Oh, for sure.
We got a lot going on.
Those of you that listen that don't know me personally, I'm the literacy coach at my school. I am a mom to a very rambunctious 6-year-old. Too rambunctious. I'm in school. My husband's in school. What else do I have going on?
A lot.
I'm in after work programs that are to be done during work, but the meetings are done after work.
Yeah.
I just got done with 7 weeks of tutoring.
Plus, you did the symposium.
I did the symposium, which I have something cool to tell you that I haven't told you yet. I got invited to be on a teacher panel coming up.
You did? That's awesome.
I'm going to be the veteran teacher on the panel.
Oh, that's
which feels weird. How am I old enough to be the veteran?
Hey, them newbies. I mean, they're coming out of college? What, 22, 23?
They're babies. I was older. We were older.
Yeah. I was a lot older.
Not a lot. Don't let her lie to y'all.
I was almost 30.
Were you really? No, you were probably in mid-20s.
Well, let me think. 16. Hang on. 86.
We celebrated 30 the first year I worked at the same school as you.
I was 29. We graduated in 2015. I was born in 86. 86.
Well,
So,
here's where we're at.
I was turning 29. So, yeah, I was a little old.
Yeah. It's so weird, too, to think that, I have been working with students and in education since I was 19 years old, and I'll be 34 this year.
Same. I started with school when I was 19, and I'll be, 38.
You don't have to tell everybody. That's okay.
I'm going to be 30. Oh, my God, I'm going to be 38.
And you're rocking the new nose ring.
I am.
You're never too old to get a nose ring. That's my take on it. Never too old. So, but yeah, so that'll be fun. And yes, there's a lot of things going on. You recently have added to your plate as well.
All right. So I'm going to get my master's in ed leadership.
So,
yes.
So Principal Parker coming your way.
Maybe not principal, but something to do in leadership.
So I agree with that. I don't think that they pay enough to have to put up with as much as you do.
Right.
Which, ooh, look. See, this is us being tired. Last night up till little past midnight because my school is, thank God, my school is a few states over. And so I have a little longer to get my stuff done and turned in. But the procrastinator in me just means I stay up late and get it done. You know what, though?
I don't know how you do that.
I don't know how people stare at a screen knowing they got a week till something's due. Like, I know. And when I grow up, I want to be Christine Parker because you are so focused and you're so good at like managing your time. Like, you're the mom that 3 months down the road is going to be Easter and you already have things purchased and figured out for Easter. And like, I'm the person that like, it's midnight before Easter and I should probably go to Walmart and get an Easter basket for my poor kid. And I don't want to live that way, but it's the life I live.
That's why I love you.
You know what, though? I feel like everybody finds somebody that puts up with that, right? Like, there's two extremes to it. And I feel like everybody just kind of finds their people that are like, it's okay that you're that way.
Right. Hey, opposites attract. So
yes. Well, and speaking of Easter, you've already pre-prepared me for Easter. So I want to give you props for that one. Because if you had not done that, I would have nothing done for Easter. And I'll have you know, it's like, what, a month away?
Yes, I know. I saw that. I was like, I have got to get that for Xander and Cooper.
Y'all, get you a bestie that can help you plan for your kids' like holidays because. And then thank God you had something planned for Halloween this year. Because again, it was like last minute. I'm calling you. What was it? The day before, I was like, "Hey, can we tag along?"
Right. Hey, can we come over tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't think you'd say no, so.
Of course not. Never.
Well, it's good too that our boys love each other as much as we love each other.
Right. I know.
Yes. So they get along really well, and so it's okay if I piggyback off of the fact that you're the best mom in the world. Because
I am not.
You are too. My kid knows I love him, but he's one day going to ask me like, Mom, why was it that I ended up getting raisins in my bag instead of a candy? Well, son, I was the last person to get to the store.
Hey, love is more important. He knows
you say that. You say that till I'm paying for his therapy bill. But anyways, you know, so I'm going to do something new. And I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but since we are so relatable and you are type A, planned it all out and all that good stuff, and I will fly by the seat of your pants and coming in hot. In the comments below, I want you guys sound off. Are you a Christine or are you a Julie? So that would be fun.
There's going to be more Julies than there are Christine.
Do you think so?
I
don't know. In our profession, I feel like you have to be such a planner. So I don't know. But I was I was the same as a teacher as I am a parent. Like the last year when it was Christmas time, I thought of a couple ideas to get my kids a Christmas present. And like, I was like, oh, well, it's still a month away. Oh, well, it's still whatever away. And then the next thing I know, we're doing our Christmas party tomorrow. And I forgot. So I kid you not, I went to Walmart and I was like, whatever they've got, that's $2 or less per kid that I can get an entire class set of. That's what they're getting for Christmas. And so I went up and down. You know how they do those Christmas aisles in the front? Yeah. Up and down those. And I'll have you know, they had plenty of those candy canes. The ones that have the candy inside.
Yes.
And that's what they all got.
You get for $1. Are you talking about those?
Listen, it's $1.50 nowadays, okay?
True. Dollar Tree, $1.25 now.
And I had to pay for 2 class worths.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if I had just planned a little ahead, I probably could have paid less. But
got off of Amazon and
right. No, this is life I live. So, but I don't know. I always I really admire the people that can plan ahead and know things are coming up and have everything figured out, and not me. So, side note, when is our spring break?
March 11th. Not next week.
A week and a half away, right? I did my calendar in my agenda wrong. And I thought I still had 2 weeks to plan my vacation.
Oh my God.
2.5 weeks to plan my vacation. And Cody and I have literally done nothing. We have no hotels. We have no excursions. We have nothing other than the route we want to take. And that's not even the actual road to and from places. That's just, we want to stop at these 4 different places on our road trip. So,
honey, it's spring break for lots of people.
Mm-hmm. You know what I told Cody we're going to do? We're going to pack the tent. And if nothing else, we have housing.
I love you. This is why I love you. See, me, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, oh my God, nope, we're not going. We don't have a hotel. No.
But okay, so when I was a kid though, and I feel like I get this honest, because when I was a kid, I remember the spring break when my parents loaded us all up in the vehicle and said, we're just going to drive till we find something that we find fun and we're going to do it. And then we'll find a hotel. And we did that a few different times. And those were always the best vacations.
True.
So there's something to be said. Okay. Just saying. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. I know this is off topic a little bit, but today, if you clicked on this, you clicked on this because of the title. This season is going to be called the Talking Series. So each episode, we're going to be talking a different facet of education. So today is talking about teacher abuse. And yes, I use the word abuse because that's what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to make it seem like it's grander than it is. I want us to talk about it. I want us to come up with some solutions. There has to be a change in education. But at the same time, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and I'm not going to pretend that things are better than they are because they're not.
No.
So, anyways, this is the first of many of our series of talking. And we're going to talk teacher health. We're going to talk, student-teacher relationships. We're going to talk how to make sure that you are, taking care of yourself and how to subsidize your income without having to, get a second job, how to subsidize your classroom income without having to get a second job, and not income, but, how to subsidize your classroom. So, if you're interested in those topics, if there's something specific that you want to hear or see us talk about, let us know, write a comment. I know, like, for myself, I think I'm at over 17,000 that I was able to write a grant for this year. And so, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of money out there, and I know sometimes it takes some extra time, but so those are the things we're going to talk about. But without further ado, let's dive in to talking teacher abuse. All right. So, friend, I know you can't talk specifics because on this podcast, we don't talk specifics.
Right.
We talk in generalities because we are still in the school system, and we want to be respectful of the people we work for, with, and everything else. Would you say, and you don't have to give time frame either, would you say that you have dealt with abuse as a teacher?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how there's like different facets of abuse? What abuse do you think that you have dealt with specifically?
I would say mental abuse.
Verbal?
Verbal. Nothing physical.
No. Yet.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But I would say those two for sure.
Yeah. And I think people sometimes, they don't think mental abuse is a thing, But when you're in a toxic relationship, and you're with a narcissist, people are like, oh, they're gaslighting you, and you'll know it because they're going to make you feel crazy, and they're going to this, that, and the other. Education is doing that right now. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I know this is a hard topic for a lot of people right now. And I like to come at my channel and my platform in a positive way. But if we don't talk about the issue, we can't talk about a solution, right?
Right.
So I think for me, like, I have also dealt with the mental abuse, and it does come down to like the gaslighting and the just being made to feel like you're not good enough. And nothing you do is going to be good enough. So you better try 210,000%, because even when you try 210,000%, I might put your name in the newsletter, but tomorrow you're probably going to get yelled at for not doing something right, or you're going to be, and I'm not saying, I am not in any way saying it's a boss. I'm not saying that anybody higher than me is like this. I'm just saying in general. So, and I have been reading a lot of articles about parents abusing teachers.
It's really bad. It truly, it seems like it's gotten worse, especially these past like few years.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think that it has to do with the fact that only the bad teachers that do something terrible get put in the news?
It could be. To be honest, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I just don't know where the disrespect comes from for our profession.
I know. And it's like I said, it's getting worse. And it's like, this is like the only profession I feel like if a parent happened to email you like, oh, let me CC your boss. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Other profession is going to go straight to your boss. Like, normally they would just come to you and be like, okay, let's talk about it. No, let me just CC your boss, or let me go to the district because of one little thing that happened. And it's like.
And I think too that parenting nowadays is different than parenting back when we were kids, or back even 10 years ago, honestly. Because parenting nowadays, like, we're going to take what our kids said as truth.
Right.
There's no like, oh, my baby might exaggerate. Hyperbole is a thing, people, in case you don't know. That's something that is called figurative language, and hyperbole means that you are exaggerating. And our children learn hyperbole, but our children talk in hyperbole all the time. Right. They exaggerate about every little thing. My child just told me in the kitchen earlier that he is the only child in the world that can jump as high as he can jump. Okay, my child's cute, but I told him, I said, well, that's adorable, and I'm so glad you enjoyed jumping. You are a short little man, and you are not the only one that can jump, okay? Why are more parents not talking truth with their kids? Right. Instead of running to the parent or running to the teacher and just verbal diarrhea, okay? Like,
it's terrible. And then, of course, there's your verbal abuse, but then it's like, then there goes your mental abuse, because it's like, okay, well, now mentally I'm not in the right state of mind because
But I got to put on a smile and a show for the very child of the parent that just yelled at me.
Right. Exactly. And it's like, where do you even get this information from? And it's like you said, you're going to take the word of a 5-year-old, or a 6-year-old or 10-year-old. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't really hear the whole story, and,
Yeah. And at the end of the day, does it really even matter what?
Right.
Half of these things don't matter. So-and-so took my kid's snack today. Well, your kid probably still had a snack, okay? Like, we're not treating children bad, okay?
Right.
I mean, I can't even tell you how many times, like, if we flew off the handle at these parents the way they fly off the handle at us, and I'm not saying all parents, But I have had a kid come to me one time and say, my mom yelled at me so bad this morning that's why I'm just having a really rough morning. And in tears, did I call that parent and yell at them and tell them that they were a terrible parent? No. I just took care of the child. I made sure that they knew that they were loved and that everything's going to be okay. And I even went to bat for that parent. I said, maybe the parent was having a bad day.
Right.
They still love you and it's going to be okay. What?
Right.
Now, and I wonder, is it because of all of the media making teachers out to be terrible people?
Could be.
Or,
I didn't even think about that.
yeah. Or could it have to do with everybody wanting to break their generational trauma? So instead of ignoring what their child says, now they're taking everything they say to heart.
Right.
Which, you know me, number one, trying to break generational trauma, but I still weigh what he says. Like, I'm not dumb, right?
Right.
And my kid could be 12 years old telling me such and such happened, and I'm still going to question it, and I'm going to analyze it, and I'm going to ask him some more questions and see what really happened. And then I'm going to get a hold of the teacher and ask her side before I say anything.
Right.
Like, and also, if the teacher does not get back to me within 20 minutes, it's okay.
I know. My God, that irritates me. And it's like, do you not understand that I'm teaching your child?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Like, do you want me answering you or do you want me putting eyes on your kid? Like, because this is when bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
or
we have
email you at like 9:00 at night and then get mad and email you again first thing in the morning. It's like
your boss CC'd.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, I'm sleeping. Like, just like
sleep is hard to come by. Don't interrupt my sleep now.
Exactly. It's like, you sleep, I have to sleep. Same thing with like kids. Like when they see you out, it's like, oh, you're at Walmart. Yeah, I don't live at the school, sweetheart. Like,
yeah, I have to go buy my own toilet paper. Okay.
Right? Same thing with parents. It's like, okay, I have to sleep and I have to spend time with my family and take care of my son. So I'm not going to answer you at 9:00 at night.
And I think that's why I always, after having my son, that's why I always led with, hey, I'm a mom and this is my child.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Plugging in my computer, guys.
But yeah, so I feel like that's why I always, like, that was the first thing I led with, because I wanted them to know that, like, on my syllabus I know a lot of people don't do syllabi at this age, but I did. Fifth graders don't normally get one, but I always had one. I led with, I'm a teacher. These are my office hours, but I'm also a mom and this is my home life hours. And I'm not going to get to you. Please give me 24 working hours to get back to you. Now, some people don't know what 24 working hours are. So,
right.
I emailed you yesterday at 1 p.m. It is now 1:02. Oh, geez. Okay. Right. But yeah.
Okay, well, give me another day because it said 24 working hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not that you want to ignore them, but there's a million other things that have to get done in your one day. Let's just go through a day, okay? So in one day, you have to engage the students in a lesson and be so engaging that they're paying attention. Catch those that are not paying attention. Remediate those that are not understanding the work. Pull kids to your table. You have to assess them, grade that assessment, pull them to your table to remediate them, put them back on something. Then you have to go through all of your emails from everybody. You have meetings every single day. There are forms that have to be filled out. There's people's school pictures that have to be sent home. There's agendas that need to be checked. There's emails you need to write off. In one day.
Right.
7:45 to 3:15. That's all. And about out of 7, how long do we work a day? 7 hours.
We work 7.75. I think we do.
Okay, so 7 hours 7 3/4, okay?
Yes.
Out of that time, 7 of those hours are with your kid.
Right.
Or let's be a little bit more realistic, because we have a planning time, we have a lunch time. So 6 hours and 45 minutes is with your kid.
True. Yep.
I mean, but you want me to stop what I'm doing and email you back right then.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Like
and I wouldn't expect you to.
Let me
say that again. Sorry.
I said, like you said, oh, I didn't email you, so let me CC your boss now.
Yeah. Oh, and since I've been out of the classroom, this is the new phenomenon. All kids have phones now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So-and-so didn't like the way ABC teacher talked to her. So-and-so went in the bathroom, pulled her cell phone out, and called her mom to let her mom know that so-and-so or that ABC teacher was mean to her and said X, Y, and Z, and she wants to go home. I'm sorry. What happened to finding out what happened in the classroom? What happened to yelling at your child for being on their phone at school in the first place?
Right.
Because my response would be, why are you calling me?
Right.
Aren't you supposed to be learning something? And then my second thing would be, well, why did the teacher say that to you? What did you do?
What did you do? Right.
I mean, it's not rocket science to realize that if kids can get away with something, they're going to.
Right.
And I remember being that kid that was like, I really messed up at school today. Will you please not call my parents till I have a chance to talk to them first? I did. I would ask because, and now I was honest with my parent, like, hey, this is what I did. But I knew if I fessed up, sorry, I knew if I fessed up, I'd get in less trouble.
Right.
So I get where the kid is coming from. But at the same time, I never had a cell phone in my back pocket to call my parents.
Right. I didn't even have a cell phone until I was like a junior in high school.
I was living with my husband before I had a cell phone. So.
And the only reason why I had a cell phone was because it was just my mom and I, so she needed to get hold of me.
Right.
But other than that, like I would never have had one. But nowadays, I have somebody in my class that has one, and I'm like, you're
kindergarten?
Yes, you're 5 years old. Oh, well, it's for emergency. Okay, well, you pick them up, and never mind. It's like, you pick them up, never mind. That's your choice.
Right. That's, hey, if you want to pay the bill, have at it, friend.
Right.
Not me.
I know. As far as
my kid has my old busted phone. There is not 1 minute that child can call on that thing, though.
Right.
And it is my old busted phone. I put a screen protector over it so he can't hurt his little fingers if he plays the video game. But all the video games on there have been approved by mom.
Right.
And I don't even know where it is right now, to be honest with you, because we just don't keep up with it, like it's not something he has every single day. So.
Right. I don't get it.
I don't either. And I wonder sometimes, am I like judging this too harshly? But at the same time, it's negatively affecting every single teacher I know. Mm-hmm. So it's not an okay thing.
It's not. And it makes teachers feel like, oh, like they don't even want to get up and go to work anymore. Because it's like, okay, well, what abuse am I going to get today?
Mm-hmm.
Parent or... And it's like even kids, I swear, abuse
the eye roll, the back talk, the cursing a teacher out, the walking away when you're trying to have a conversation with them. I mean, I tell you, most of the kids that I have dealt with know that I'm fair. So I'm going to listen to what you have to say and I'm going to offer you some advice. But there's still some kids at our school that will suck their teeth and roll their eyes and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the middle schoolers.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if I'd have tried that when I was a child.
Oh, I know, right?
I would not be living today.
I know.
The 90s were a wild time.
It was.
It was the wild, wild west for us kids.
Right.
Oh man. And you know, we didn't have the electronics to keep us busy. We were outside. I mean, I was outside till the lights came on. Then I could go inside.
And it's so crazy to me because like our generation are having kids that
Our generation is the ones that's raising these children.
and it's the worst.
It is.
Like, come on now. We were all raised in the same generation. Like, mom and dad didn't put up with that.
Mm-mm. No. Yeah, it's well, and I will say, we're older parents. Let's just throw that out there. Like, we're older than most people in our area when we had our children.
Mm-hmm.
I was at least 7 years older than most people in the area when I had Xander. So, but at the same time, like, even if it is these younger, 20-something parents having their kids, they weren't far behind us, right?
Right.
It's just it's so strange to me. So yeah, I don't know how to combat the parent abuse, and I have racked my brain on this because I feel like there just has to be a way to change things, right? And part of me has been like, almost like I'm gonna bring up Catherine Ashmore again. I love that lady. She said one time to me, if you don't write your story, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true.
Right.
And, we got our hands slapped. Don't put anything online anymore. Don't post any stories about X, Y, and Z. You can't do that.
Right.
So you've taken our ability to tell our story away.
Exactly.
So we can't tell our side of it. We can't humanize ourselves to these parents, right? Like, that's what it comes down to, is we're not human anymore. They don't do that to football players.
Right.
Or basketball players.
Yeah.
I still say we should be paid as much as them, but that's a whole nother
whole nother podcast for that one.
Whole nother podcast, which we've done once before. So I guess, I can't toot that horn again, but
yes.
So all right. So yeah. So you touched on the parents. We touched a little bit on the kids. I think people don't quite understand how BAD this next generation is. They don't care. You're going to take my lollipop away? I don't care. I'll get one from somebody else. Yep. My recess, I'll play at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to talk to me like that? I'll call my mom in the bathroom.
Right. Rude, disrespectful.
And it's not, obviously, I'm just, disclaimer, it is not everybody.
Right.
But it's a lot of them. A lot of them. And it's scary because, like, not only are we teachers that are having to deal with these kids' behavior, but we're parents now. And this is what our kids are going to see.
I know. It's sad.
And I can already tell you there's times that Xander comes home and he says or does something that I'm like, where did you learn that? And we will sit down and I will tell him, like, not in my household. I love you and I want you to be a grown man that knows how to handle himself, and people like that doesn't fly.
Right. Right.
If more parents would do that.
Right.
Instead of it being our faults. Like, exactly. Oh, well, they learned that at school. They don't do that at home. What? What did you
say? No, that kills me. That's like the number one thing. It is like, really? Really? Uh-huh. They're angels at home. They don't do that at all.
Listen, you know what that is? Hold on. Oh, I'm beating myself. I'm in front of the TV, so I can't behave bad.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, my child don't do that. Mm-hmm. My kid does. As soon as the teacher says, well, today he said, yep, that sounds just like him.
Right. Mm-hmm. I know.
You got to know your children. And here's my advice. If you're a parent, I think only teachers would be listening to us, but if you're a teacher and you're a parent, here's my advice. Get to know your children.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to solve 90% of the problems that they're going to see in school. Your kid comes home telling you fabricated lies and stories. You're going to know because your kid normally does that, right? If your kid comes home and says, my teacher beat me with a broomstick today, you're going to question it because you know your child.
Right.
Your teacher writes a note in the agenda that says, he got really upset today and yelled in some kid's face. You're going to know their temper if you just get to know your kid.
Right.
Spend time with them.
Yep. Instead of be like, oh, Johnny, you want to go watch TV?
Yeah. Here's your iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your phone.
Yep.
Here's the Switch. PS5. We are so inundated with technology right now. And I tell you, like, okay, we're just self-proclaiming ADHD at this point because I'm fairly certain that's what it is, looking at how my son is in his diagnosis. I love to keep my mind going because when I don't, I fall asleep. And that was something like today we were talking about a student that should be medicated, is not. And the teacher was like, he just falls asleep in class. And I said, well, let me ask you this. Have you tried a fidget toy? And she's like, hear me out. I'm not trying to say reward the child for misbehaving. I said, but if I sit quiet and still for too long, I fall asleep. But my son does the same. And she thought for a second. She's like, I have some fidget toys. I could try that today. And I was like, you're welcome. So hopefully that helps her. But that's the thing is like, if the parent, and this is a 5th grade child, by the way. So if the parent got to know the kid, they would know to say, hey, Johnny's tired. Give him a fidget toy.
Right. But that's the problem. They don't take time to know their kids because they're too busy on their phones nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Have you been to a park recently?
I know, right?
I will never understand parents that sit like this.
Right.
And their kid is way over there. What?
Like, are you paying attention to your child?
You're going to look up and they're going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or something bad is going to happen, like they get hurt.
Right.
Right there in front of you. Anyways. Yeah. So off the high horse. All right. So I know we're running out of time for this podcast episode today, and I think we'll probably get into this topic deeper in a different episode, but let's just start with it, okay? Do you feel as if every leader, and I'm not saying just the ones immediately above you, but the ones above them, the ones around them, the ones surrounding leadership in our district, okay? Do you feel that they support you and that they have your back?
Not everyone.
And that's the thing. That's where it comes down is like not everyone, do I feel, has our best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, I mean, like, okay, if you're in Polk County, the motto is students first. What about the teachers? Because we're the ones on the front lines. We're the ones dealing with these things. Like, at the end of the day, my narcissistic boyfriend is a district.
Mm-hmm.
That gaslights me. It makes me feel like I'm crazy. How is that okay?
Right.
And because I'm going to get a little uncomfortable here and I'm just going to be authentic and real. I feel like Band-Aids keep being put on like a leg that's been amputated, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I continue to put Band-Aids on something that's major, eventually my patient's going to die.
Right.
Right? Like they're not going to survive the amputation of their leg if I'm not cauterizing it. Like it needs some work, and it needs to come from the head down. And I give credit. I mean, in our district, we have an engagement team, and I love them, and they really and truly care about all the teachers, and they're doing their best to combat the problems. But all that they can do right now is give out gifts and, shout people out online and, tell the tale and do things like the symposium where the teachers are showcased and those things, which are fantastic things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a Band-Aid.
Right. It's a small part of it. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if we don't feel supported when it comes to these parents being abusive to us, or if we don't feel supported when, we're being handed prescriptive lessons or treated like we're not professionals, and our judgment is wrong all the time, then what?
Right.
And I know I have to tread the line here, being very careful. So let me just go ahead and say I work with amazing people. And I do feel supported and I do like where things are headed. Are there days that I am like, yes, there are. But I know that the people around me also feel that way because they're dealing with a lot too. So it's not that, it's just it's the entirety of everything. And I wish that we'd be listened to, right?
Right. And it's sometimes when we do express, it's like nobody's listening. Like, it seems like they don't care.
Or, you see the people who are like, oh, you get summers off. What does it matter? We do as much as we can to help those people. Why are they so ungrateful for what they have?
Right.
Other districts can't, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Right.
And there's the back and forth between PEA and people, right? PEA and higher ups, and they're going back and forth and trying to protect our rights. And listen, I don't care where you stand with PEA, whether you're with them or against them or whatever. I don't care. That's neither here nor there. It's not my whatever. But those are the loud people trying to fix things right now. Not everybody agrees with how they're doing it, but so there's the back and forth there, right? But when you are allowing parents to decide whether I can teach literature that has been around forever, like the Diary of Anne Frank, to not just their child, but to everybody else's child. And you're not asking my opinion as the adult that has been to school and knows how to teach this.
Right.
There's something wrong with that. Give us the chance to rebuttal.
Right. Exactly.
Anyways, I can't fix education on my own, and I've come to the realization that I either have to run for office or or become superintendent. But that's what I've come up to. Like, yeah. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna be truthful and honest. So I wish that more people would listen. But so the PSA from today's lovely episode is quit abusing teachers. Respect them until or unless they give you a reason not to. Because I know there's always one bad apple, right?
Right.
I can't.
Everybody.
Yes. The world is a bunch of gray matter. There is no black and white. There is no this or that. It's a bunch of gray. So there's always gonna be one person. There's always gonna be one leader. There's always gonna be one kid that goes against the grain.
Right.
But almost like the whole like innocent until proven guilty thing.
Right.
Bring it back, people. Bring it back. Right.
Right. Like you say, let us explain or before you jump to conclusions.
Yeah. Just listen and wait for my email back before you decide to CC the superintendent.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Also understand what my qualifications are. I am not here to diagnose your child with anything, okay?
Right.
Oh, man. Anyways. Well, if only everybody would think the way we think.
Right.
Oh, man. And if you do think the way we think and you like today's episode, like, comment, subscribe, send it to a buddy. Tell us what you thought, what your feelings are. And if you have questions or you have ideas for future episodes, let us know in the comments section. And Christine, you have anything you want to add? I feel like I speak paragraphs to your sentences.
Because you're just such a good talker. So you have such great
And that's
ideas.
not what my teachers said. They said I talk too much, okay? Wouldn't stop talking.
So did your parents listen to that, or did they
yeah, my butt tore up.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And yeah. I would get two things. I would get told or I would get the note, wouldn't stop talking in class, or won't stop doodling on her papers.
You still do that.
I still do that. And I don't even care.
That's right. I said you still do that.
And it does not mean that I don't know what I'm doing, and I was paying attention, okay? Oh, man. ODD was not a thing when I was a kid, but if it had been. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Do you have anything you want to add for the people?
Oh, no. I'm good.
Oh, man. Well, tune in, guys. I hope that I have this up by next Friday. That's the goal. And so every Friday upload is what I'm looking for. So I might, because I don't have to edit this much, this might be up tomorrow.
That'd be great.
That would be. So, and if you like that, give this a thumbs up.